in my head, she's probably thinking, I got to get these guys' numbers. These are the coolest dudes I ever met. When in actuality, she's running off to the other cheerleaders like, those are the biggest nerds I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, so I don't know how this is going to play to a camera, but I was thinking, because you know how we needed to make some Pokemon content?
I do like Pokemon.
Okay, so I was thinking I would tell you a Pokemon story from my childhood.
Oh.
And I'm insulted that with myself that I never told you this.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, by all accounts, pretty cringy, but that's okay because it harkens back to a simpler time. Okay.
Well, simpler times. I'm intrigued.
Okay, so this is the nerdiest Pokemon story I'm fairly certain in existence. I can't actually quantify that being factual, but I can't imagine a nerdier one than this.
Okay.
Okay, so picture yourself in high school in the late 1990s. Okay? So Pokemon was not what it is today. The Pokemon anime had been out for a tiny bit, and Pokemon Red and Blue had just released.
Such a good game.
We're playing on the big brick Game Boys. You know, this is the world we live in. There's no cell phones, you know. You have AOL dial-up, things like this. Okay, so get yourself in that mindset. Now, picture yourself as a nerdy, shy high school kid. Okay? I'm in, I believe, 10th grade, I think. I'm not going to bother to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that's the grade I was in. Okay, me and my friend Joe
I don't like him.
are obsessed with Pokemon. This brand new game that no one had ever heard of before. It had been out for a little while. We're playing it like crazy. We're sneaking it into our class and playing it under our desk, you know, things like that. And this is the link cable era, remember? So, like, if we're going to battle with each other in class, we kind of have to sneak the link cable behind us and battle. Okay, so that's already nerdy enough as it is. But I think a lot of people have probably similar stories.
Link cable kids.
This story takes place in the library of my high school. Okay? So, during U.S. history, I believe, my friend, we all had to go to the library for a report. And I had left my Game Boy, for whatever reason, in my locker, which I didn't usually do at the time. I usually had it with me, even though it was a big, giant, thick brick, and it looked like ridiculous. It looked like I literally had a brick in my pocket. This isn't the Game Boy Advance. This is the big boy. So I had left it in my. That's actually probably why I left it in my locker. But for whatever reason, Joe brought his. Okay, so Joe had it in his pocket. I did not. So we're in the library. Joe's, looking for some books, getting some stuff done, doing some research. And I'm walking through the aisles, just kind of gallivanting, doing whatever, being all shy or whatever. And between two stacks of books, there's some study tables, right? And a kid, an upperclassman, either a junior or a senior, we were sophomores, I believe, is sitting at the table. And he was doing this. You couldn't see what he was doing, but he had his hands down, looking down.
Uh-oh.
And cell phones didn't exist then. So I was like,
a couple options.
So I was like, this dude's playing a Game Boy. What if he was playing Pokemon? Wouldn't that be neat? Because we had never seen anybody else playing Pokemon before. Remember, the games were brand new. Put yourself in that mindset. So I'm like, there's no way this guy's playing Pokemon, right? So, especially an upperclassman. So I walk kind of behind the table, and I do one of, you're him, and I'm like, do one of these, like, as I walk by. Oh my God, he's playing Pokemon. Like, I'm going to go tell Joe that he should battle this guy. We didn't know who he was. We knew, this wasn't a thing that people did. So I ran over to Joe, real nerdy, Joe, dude.
All this in the library.
In the library. Well, I was quiet. Joe, dude. That kid over there is playing Pokemon. And he's like, oh, cool. I'm like, go battle him. And he's like, no way. I'm like, please go battle him. And he's like, well, I have my Game Boy, but I didn't bring my link cable. And I'm like, dude, that sucks, man, because my Game Boy is in my locker. And, this is the 90s, so everybody had cargo pants on. I throw my hands down to my side to my cargo pants. Oh, my God. Dude, I can't believe it. I opened up pocket like number 7 on my cargo pants.
I remember those. You can fit a tent in them.
My link cable is here. I have my link cable. I can't believe it. So that problem was solved. Like, I am begging you to go battle this guy in Pokemon. He's like, and he's you know, at the time he's kind of nerdy and shy too, just like me. That's why we were friends. So, you know, we walk over to him and he kind of does the flyby like I did, sees it, you know, whatever. And then we talk for another minute or two, and I think I talk him into it, right? I got him talked into wanting to battle this kid. So we think that we're cool, and we're going to be like, hey, would you like to play Pokemon with us? Blah blah blah, whatever. So this is how it actually happens, okay? I swear, verbatim. This is how it went down. We both walk up, chest puffed out, 2 super nerds, by the way, right? We walk up, and I'm kind of like next to Joe because I don't have my Game Boy. He reaches behind his pocket, and the kid's over here on the other side of the table, all right? So he's here looking this way. Joe walks up. He reaches behind his back like he's going for a weapon or something. And he says, "Excuse me." The kid looks up like this. Yeah. Joe goes, "Would you like to battle Pokemon?" Dude, just like that. I kid you not. It was the greatest moment.
That poor kid was just walking through the tall grass and made eye contact.
Would you like to play Pokemon?
You made eye contact with me. Let's battle.
Full bore, full extension in his face. That's not. I'm not. You know, that's not hyperbole. That's how it went down. He goes, "Oh, sure, okay." So at this point, it's going down. It is going down. I'm freaking out, right? I'm freaking out. None of this kind of stuff had never happened before. At least, you know, obviously, I'm sure it had all over the world.
This was the first time.
But I mean, in my social circle / world / little hick town, southern New Jersey, this is like, whoa, my mind's about to blow. They plug their link cables in, right? And they go into the battle screen. And I think I lost my mind at this point. I have gone full-blown hype man. I mean, now remember, I'm a little 15-year-old kid. I weigh like $110, you know, soaking wet. Little guy, right? Clothes way too big. I'm a super nerd. Big old fat glasses, okay? And I'm full-blown hype man. Dude, yeah, woo! Yo, I'm like, in a library, I'm like jumping and freaking out. Like, you know, the kid brings out like an Ivysaur or something, and Joe drops like like a Charizard out. And I'm like, yo! Oh my god! He's Charizard! He's grass type! Oh my god! So, I mean, it's ridiculous, right? How freaking crazy I am.
That sounds reasonable to me.
I'm at this point, it's completely insane that a librarian hasn't come over and like freaked out on us or kicked us out or put us in detention,
well,
whatever.
You did know she was the biggest Pokemon fan of them all.
So they're battling, right? And I'm acting like it's the Game 7 of the World Series. The game's tied 3-3 in the bottom of the ninth. Like, I'm freaking out, right? So I'm making enough noise for a stadium. A girl that Joe and I both had a crush on was in the same class. She sees us freaking out, and she walks up, right? And now, I don't know how to talk to girls, okay? Sophomore year, at this point, you know, I'm married now. So, I have 3 kids in real life. But anyway, so, at this point, I don't know how to talk to girls. So, this girl that we both have the hots for, she walks up, and she's like, "What's going on?" You know, she's not friends with us, but, whew, she's fine. Right, and she just basically wants to make sure I'm not having like an aneurysm because I'm freaking out so bad. And I'm like,
a nerderism.
These guys are battling Pokemon, right? I mean, it's just something similar to what I said, and probably in that squeaky nerd voice or whatever. And she's like, this is how she reacts. Oh, okay, bye, and she walks off. So that's how she reacts. In my head, she's probably thinking, I got to get these guys' numbers. These are the coolest dudes I ever met. When in actuality, she's running off to the other cheerleaders like, those are the biggest nerds I've ever seen in my entire life. So anyway.
Take a breath, Steve.
So more hype continues. It's down to like the last battle, or the last 2 Pokemon. They both had 1 Pokemon left, because remember, it's 6v6.
This is getting intense.
It's a 1v1, right? At this point, the librarian had caught on. But she was cool. She actually just walked up and shushed us. She knew that we were screwing around, but she was like, guys, just keep it quiet or whatever. So I kind
Told you, big Pokemon fan.
So I went from vocal hype man to like a pantomime hype man, like. You know what it is? So anyway, long story short, Joe ends up losing the fight. I forget what Pokemon the last two were, but it was like a murder in the last Pokemon. He was like not even close in the last one. So Joe loses, right? And Joe's like, "Good game, man." And he's like, "Oh yeah, good game." And they like shook, like like it was the game was just over and they're professional actually.
Yeah,
high fiving each other.
It's like when Ash lost the league.
Yeah, something like that, exactly. So, it was over, the hype dies down. I spent the rest of the day telling anyone who would listen, about how I just witnessed, like, the coolest thing in the history of gaming. People up in the lunchroom, people in gym class, people in algebra. Told everybody. And all of them are like, that seems kind of cool. I'm like, you just have to be there. You just have to be there. It was so awesome.
You know what's crazy is I went to school after you, and somehow I remember that story still. It still echoed through the hallways.
It's lived on in the annals of time. Anyway, that is my Pokemon story.
You know what makes me warm-hearted about that story?
What's that?
They always have that picture of like when you're playing games as a kid and what you visualize. You were really in a stadium.
Oh yeah,
there was a
absolutely.
roaring crowd.
Absolutely.
There was a huge Pokemon battle going in front of you.
Yeah. So
I wish I could have been there with you, Steve.
So if you guys have an awesome Pokemon story, we would love to hear it in the comments below. There's also a link in the description to our totally free discussion forum that takes you directly to a Pokemon story thread. So we'd also like to hear some details about your fun, nerdy, exciting Pokemon experiences in the thread as well.
And if you're the guy that beat Joe, let us know.
He wants a rematch, okay? Big shout out to our patrons. You guys make this channel possible. For the Adventures Guild, I'm Hype Man, Steve.
Still curious, Jesse.
And we will catch you in the next time. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. What did I say? Man, I had too much caffeine. We'll catch you next time.
Gotta catch them all.